What if I told you there's a faceless niche that has low-key been gaining momentum away from the attention of most creators? Take a look at this channel. They've only posted 23 videos, but somehow already pulled in close to 100,000 subscribers. If you take a closer look at the channel, you'll notice that they don't post often. In fact, they seem to be posting 2 videos every single month since uploading their first video less than a year ago. But what I found interesting is the numbers on their videos. Most of their videos are racking up hundreds of thousands of views, with just these 3 videos alone bringing in approximately 5 million. That's how viral this niche is. But if you're wondering what they're doing, the channel's simply creating debate-style videos where they pitch advanced AIs against each other on some of the most provocative questions of religion, ethics, politics, economics, science, and technology. Somehow, this strategy is so intriguing that viewers can't seem to get enough of their content. The best part is that the niche has almost no real competition, so this is the perfect time to jump into it. If you still have doubts, check out this other channel that had been struggling for over 4 years with little to no traction. Then just last month, they switched to this style of content and their first video already hit 1.2 million views. Every video since has been performing well, so if you're looking for an interesting niche with little competition to get started in, this one might be perfect for you. If you're curious about monetization, you can check with 2 tools. The first is NextLev, and the second is YouTube Monetization Checker. You can install both of these extensions from the Chrome Web Store. Once you're done, refresh the channel page and you'll see NextLev's monetization here. For YouTube Monetization Checker, you need to select this extension icon and hit this Check This Channel button. Then wait a few seconds and you'll know whether the channel is monetized or not. As you can see, this channel is completely monetized. So the only other thing you need to think about is how to create this style of video. But you don't need to worry about that, as I'm going to simplify the entire process of creating these AI debate videos. I'll guide you through everything, from coming up with topics for the debate to crafting arguments that keep viewers glued to the screen. Then we'll move on to creating voiceovers for participants and follow that with generating the image resources for the video. Finally, we'll dive into a short course on editing this style of video. We're going to be using quite a few prompts, so I've put them inside a Google Doc file, which you can find in the prompts channel of my Discord server. Additionally, I'll also include other image resources in the files channel. Simply look for the title AI Debate in both channels. You can find the link to the Discord in the description of this video. Guys, these prompts took days to put together, so I'd appreciate a like if you find the video helpful. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me out and keeps me motivated to continue dropping more tutorials like this. To give you a quick glimpse of what we're about to create in this video, check out this short demo I made using the exact same strategy I'm about to walk you through.
We've configured advanced artificial intelligence models into neuroscience and philosophy experts to debate one of humanity's deepest questions. Do we truly have free will?
Hi, I'm neuroscientist AI.
And I'm libertarian philosopher AI.
Each round will be judged by 9 independent AI models trained to spot sharp logic and shaky claims.
That sounds interesting.
Stick around to see who wins. Don't cheat by skipping ahead. Round 1 kicks off with a bang. Human choices are entirely governed by physical laws.
Let me address that. Human choices are entirely governed by physical laws. Neuroscience has steadily unveiled how brain activity precedes conscious decision-making, indicating our choices emerge from deterministic neural processes.
You just asserted that Libet's experiments prove decisions are made before conscious awareness. Yet how do you explain more recent findings, like those by Sugar et al., which suggest that readiness potentials may reflect spontaneous fluctuations rather than predetermined intent?
Now, the first step is to come up with topics for your videos. You can start by checking out the kind of topics similar channels are creating. But to make things easier, I've put together a prompt that simplifies this process. First, head over to the Google Doc I mentioned earlier and look for this heading. Copy the full prompt and paste it into your preferred text generator. Feel free to use whichever one you prefer. But I'll be using ChatGPT for this demonstration, so go ahead and paste the prompt. You need to specify the number of topics that you want the AI to generate. So look for this placeholder and replace it with however many topics you want. In this case, I'll make it 20. Once you're done with that, scroll down to the bottom and do the same over here. Make sure you remove the square brackets in addition to the placeholder and replace them with the same number. Hit enter and wait for the AI to generate your topics. These topics look alright, so feel free to choose the one that you like. In case you don't find one, go ahead and regenerate for a whole new batch. Now usually, this is where we generate our script for the video, but this style of content is quite unique, so we're going to do things differently. The first thing we're going to do is to come up with the themes for the debate. No need to worry if you know nothing about the topic you selected, that's what I'm here for. Simply go back to the Google Doc and look for this heading, copy everything under it, and paste it inside ChatGPT. You need to add your selected topic to the prompt, but before that, there's something you should understand. The prompt is structured to generate 8 to 20 themes for the debate. This can greatly affect the length of your content. After all, the more themes there are, the longer your debate could become, so you can increase or decrease it depending on how many themes you want for the debate. Once that's decided, replace this placeholder with your selected topic and hit enter. As you can see, the AI has generated 18 themes for the chosen topic. The next step is optional, so feel free to skip it when creating your content, but you need to understand why it can be useful. This is going to be a debate, so it's advisable to specify the participant roles to better help the AI effectively argue their points. It's quite easy to determine for topics like this one. Obviously, a debate like this will be between an atheist and a believer. On the other hand, some topics aren't so easy to determine, which is where this step becomes necessary. So look for this heading inside the Google Doc and copy everything under it. Paste it inside ChatGPT and replace this placeholder with your chosen topic. Hit enter, and you should have your roles in a few seconds. As you can see, we have a neuroscientist arguing for the pro side of the debate, and a libertarian philosopher arguing the opposite. Now here comes the fun part. While an interesting debate is essential for this style of video, all your effort will be wasted without a good introduction. So it needs to grab the attention of viewers and quickly prepare them for what comes next. You can come up with something yourself, but I've created a prompt that can simplify this part as well. Look for this heading in the Google Doc and copy everything under it. Now paste it inside ChatGPT and make these changes exactly as I'm going to describe. The first one is the topic, so copy the one you've chosen and replace this placeholder. Then move on to the second placeholder and replace it with the neuroscientist that will be taking the pro side of the debate, and replace the third one as well with the libertarian philosopher arguing against. You also need to go back to the themes that you generated for the topic and copy the first one. Keep in mind that it needs to be only the first theme and nothing else. Replace this placeholder with it, then scroll down and make similar changes to these other placeholders. So in total, you'll be making 7 placeholder changes. This may seem like a lot, but it's quite simple once you get used to it. Also, it might be better to create a template to easily manage the information you'll be getting from these prompts. I'll leave one for you in the resource folder I mentioned earlier. Once you're done with everything, hit enter and the AI will generate a simple but intriguing introduction that should work perfectly for your chosen topic. Read through it and make any changes if you want to make it unique. Now it's time to actually move on to the real debate. This is where things get interesting, as you need to identify the AI tools that will be debating each other. Also, depending on how many judges you want for that specific video, you may employ more than 2 of these tools. I'll be using ChatGPT and Grok for this demonstration, but you can use DeepSeek, Qwen, and any other AI tools. Their paid versions are more powerful if you want better results, but the free versions work just as well. We'll be using 2 separate prompts, one the pro side of the debate and the other for the con. So look for this heading in the Google Doc and copy everything under it. I'll be using ChatGPT to argue for the pro side of the debate, but feel free to use whichever tool you prefer. Paste the prompt and replace this placeholder with your topic. You don't need to make any other change. Simply hit enter and the AI will ask you for the specific role it'll be taking for the debate. The pro side of our debate is a neuroscientist, so I'll add that and hit enter. Now the AI will ask for the first theme of the debate. All you have to do is copy it from the themes you generated, paste it, and hit enter. As you can see, the AI has created the first argument for the debate. If you look at the last sentence, you'll notice that it's also asking for the next theme. So you can paste subsequent themes, and it'll generate the arguments. For the opposite side of this debate, you can copy this prompt and paste it inside Grok or whichever AI tool you selected. Then repeat the same process as we did with ChatGPT. In case you paste the role that the AI should take and it also goes ahead and generates something like this, simply ignore it and go ahead with pasting your themes. Now this works perfectly, but only in cases where that particular AI is starting the argument for the theme. In cases where one AI has made a good point that needs to be argued by the opposing AI, you need to copy this prompt and paste it inside the AI that will be arguing. The cross-examination prompt works for both sides of the debate. All you have to do is specify the role it should take and also include the topic. Hit enter and the AI will request for the opposing AI's argument. Simply copy it from that AI and paste it. Hit enter again and the AI will generate the cross-examination. You can repeat this for any arguments that need a response for both sides of the debate. Now you also need one or more AI to score the arguments. As I said earlier, you can use as many advanced AI tools for this part as you need, but I'm going to use ChatGPT to grade these arguments. Simply copy this prompt from the Google Doc and paste it inside a new chat. You don't need to do anything here. Hit enter and the AI will ask you for the topic, theme, and arguments. I recommend waiting for the full debate to be completed before grading the arguments from each AI. We'll go through grading for the pro side of the debate, which which is that of the neuroscientist. You can simply repeat the same process for the other side of the debate. This part is very important, so you need to pay close attention. First, you need to type topic just like this and paste the topic of the debate. Then hold Shift and hit Enter twice to leave a space above. Type theme, go to the next line, and paste all your themes, making sure they're numbered. Once that's complete, hold Shift and hit Enter twice to leave another space at the top. Type arguments, go to the next line, and paste your first argument that corresponds to the first theme. If there's space between the argument for that particular theme, make sure you close that. Then hold Shift and hit Enter twice again to leave another space above. Paste your second argument and repeat this process till you're done with all the arguments. To make things easier, I'm going to leave a template for you in the Google Doc. Now hit Enter and the AI will score each theme out of 50 points. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to repeat this for the other side of the debate as it's just the same process. The last thing we need to look at for this section is the conclusion of the video. Don't worry, I've made this part easy as well. Just copy this prompt and paste it inside ChatGPT. Replace this placeholder with your topic and hit Enter. As you can see, the AI has provided a simple conclusion for your video. Now that the script is ready, it's time to generate the voiceover. For that, I recommend using 11 Labs if you've got a budget, but if you want a free alternative, Clipchamp works great. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using 11 Labs. The first thing you need to do is to find the voices that you'll be using. You need about 3 voices minimum for this style of video. 2 for the opposing sides of the debate, and 1 for the narrator. You can add another voice for the judges, or simply use the narrators. So head over to their voice library and select your preferred language. In this case, I'll go with English. Choose an accent, select the gender, age, and add a few voices that you like. Then with your preferred voice selected, paste the part of the script for that character. Depending on the voice you selected, you may need to tweak the voice a bit. In this case, I'm going to speed it up a bit. Hit Generate and tweak the settings again if the results aren't good enough. Feel free to repeat this for your other characters, but once you're done, it's time to create the images for the video. You need a stage and a bunch of people for the debate scene, so I've created 2 prompts for both. Simply head over to your preferred image generator. In this case, I'll be using Google's ImageFX. Paste the prompt and choose 16:9 aspect ratio. Then hit Generate and wait for the images to be ready. These images look alright, so I'll be using them. Like I said earlier, I'll be leaving all of these resources in the folder for you. If you want access to the character icons that the channel we're modeling uses, you can grab them from this website. However, they're paid, so unless you're willing to spend, the options we're about to go through may be better. Go to Flaticon and type this, followed by the action you want the character to be performing. Look through the results and download the one you want. Feel free to repeat it for every other character that you want. This is alright, but there may be cases where you can't find the exact image you're looking for, so it's a lot easier to create your own. For the default characters you'll need, simply copy their prompts from the Google Doc and paste it inside ImageFX. Change the aspect ratio to portrait this time and hit Generate. As you can see, this image looks pretty good, but you can make changes to the character description if you want something else. I'll generate this other image as well as a few others for the video. All of this may seem long, but you only need to do this once. Also, I'm making them available so you can avoid this entire process. Once the images are ready, you need to remove the background for all except the image of the stage. This is very easy to do. Simply drag and drop the file inside Photopea to upload it. Then choose the magic wand tool and click the white background to select it. Hit delete on the keyboard and the background should be gone. Now you can export the image as a PNG file. Repeat this for any other images you'll be using and export them all in the same image format. I'll also download this AI image from Vecteezy, drop the EPS file inside Photopea, remove the background, and also hide these lines, leaving only this part of the image. Now it's finally time to edit the video. You can use Premiere Pro or any other video editor you want, but CapCut works just fine for this style of video. So open it and import all your files, including the voiceover and images. Then drag and drop the voiceover inside the timeline. If it has long pauses like this one, go through and remove them all. To make it easier, keep playing it to ensure that you're removing just enough for the narration to still flow and sound naturally. Unfortunately, CapCut doesn't have a shortcut to simplify this process, so it has to be done manually. Once you're done cleaning up the voiceover, bring in some random stock footage of something being printed on the screen. In this case, I downloaded a coding background from Vecteezy. I want it to be faster, so I'm going to increase the speed like this. One other important part is to make sure we have the right video dimension. So hit ratio and select 16:9 aspect ratio. Next, I'll add this image, scale it down and move it to the left. Then I'll add another coding video right below the image, scale it down and move it here so it looks like the code is running on the character's computer. I'll speed that up as well. Add this AI circuit image, and maybe grab this white background image from the library. Drop it behind our AI image, scale and position it here. Now go to text and grab the default one. Change the color to black and change the text to AI. Move it here and maybe change the font. Feel free to choose whichever one you prefer, but I'll go with this one and scale it up a bit. Next, add this white line behind the AI image and add a mask. Then move this mask to hide the line and set a keyframe. Go forward to the point where you want the line to be fully or partially visible and draw the mask to reveal it. Duplicate the line image a few times and position them like this to create this effect. Select the lines we just created as well as the AI image and create a compound clip. Then with the compound clip selected, go to Animations and choose an entrance animation for the AI. This one seems alright, so I'll select it and also increase the duration slightly. Add an entrance animation for the text as well, and maybe move it forward, so it doesn't start at the same time that the AI image shows up. To add an entrance animation to the character behind the computer, let's select these two layers and create a compound clip. Now go ahead and add whichever animation you want to use. I'll go with this one. Don't forget to trim your clips according to the flow of your narration. Next, bring in the AI image again, scale it down slightly and position it to the left. Then duplicate the layer and move the duplicate to the right. Bring in the images of our two characters. This one is looking the other way, so hit mirror to flip it to face our other character and position them appropriately. Feel free to add entrance animations to both of our characters. After playing the narration once more, I think it's better to move this scene forward and bring in the AI image again. Scale it down and move it to the left once again. Then duplicate and move it to the right. Bring in this line image and scale it down. The image is quite short, so we need to increase the width without impacting the height. Uncheck Uniform Scale, and now you can stretch the width like this. Then add this split mask, rotate it like this, and hit reverse so that the line looks like it's being revealed as the mask moves forward. Make sure you're at the start of the clip and then add a keyframe. Move forward and drag the mask to reveal the full line. Now duplicate the layer a few times and position them like this. Feel free to repeat this for the other AI image as well. I have this white background, which I'll add, scale, and position it over the left image, duplicate, and position the duplicate over the right image. Now the first scene looks alright, but to add a bit of excitement, I'm going to scale this image down and add a text layer. Don't forget to extend it to match the duration of the scene. Paste this text from the introduction and break it into a few lines. Position it to the top left and add an entrance animation. Feel free to choose the duration you want and choose your preferred color. For the font, let's go with the same one. Now, if you take a look at the introduction, it looks a bit more interesting. For the second scene, I'm going to drop a text in here and clean up these clips by creating a compound clip. Instead of using a normal text, I'll replace this with a few emojis that represent the ideas of each side of the debate. No need to worry about how to create this. You can use ChatGPT. I'll split the text layer up like this, making sure each one has a different emoji, and also repeat this step for the images at the right side. For the third scene where the two characters show up, you need to add their roles, making sure they're in the same colors as the characters. Also, don't forget to add entrance animations to these texts. For the next scene where the judges show up, add this image to the timeline. Feel free to generate different versions of the judges with ImageFX. Just make sure you modify the prompt that I've provided. But for this demonstration, I'm simply going to duplicate the same image to match the number of judges the script mentioned. To add a bit of differentiation, go to Adjust and play around with these settings till each of the characters has a unique color. Then add a new text layer, extend it a bit and change the text to these AI tool names. Scale the text down, position it here, duplicate the text, rename, and position them like this till all the judges have been named. Once everything looks good, select all these layers from the scene and create a compound clip. Now you can add a simple entrance animation like this one. You can also add a text layer, change the text, resize, move it to the bottom, and also add an entrance animation. Now, to add a bit of excitement, I'm going to add a scene from a movie, so go to Get Yarn and search for the phrase you're looking for. In this case, I want a scene from a movie where someone uses the phrase, "That sounds interesting." This one from The Big Bang Theory seems perfect, but one issue with these clips is that the quality is usually quite low. However, the clips show exactly where the scenes were taken from, so feel free to grab that scene from your favorite streaming site and import it inside CapCut. Before adding it to the timeline, select everything from the right and move them forward. Then drag and drop your clip and trim it, leaving only the part you need. Once that's done, select everything to the right again and move them back. I'm going to add some two text layers here, change the text like this, and add a black background image as well. Next, I'll bring in this video of the car drifting that I downloaded from Pixabay. I want the black background and text to still be visible for this scene, but they seem to be covering the part of the screen that should be visible, so I'm going to move them to the right side. I'll add this image of the AI, making sure it's directly above the moving car. Now set a keyframe, move forward a few frames, and move the image along with the car, making it look like the car is moving along with the image. You don't need any complicated motion tracking here. Next, add this image as well as the default text and replace it with your first theme. Feel free to change the color and font. You need a pixel-style loading animation. However, the one I found is paid, so we need a free workaround. Simply duplicate this text and change it to loading. Scale it down and choose this VCR EAS font. Now for the loading bar, grab this one with the white background and drop it inside the timeline. Go to Remove BG and use the chroma key to select the white background. Use the crop tool to trim as much of the background as necessary, leaving only the loading bar. Feel free to position it properly. To make sure that the progress bar ends along with the narration, go to speed and increase it till it matches. We want the loading bar to still show after it's complete, so I'll freeze the last frame. I'll also bring in the first participant to announce the start, making sure there's a short entrance animation as well, and trim it. Now it's time to prepare the stage for the debate, so I'll bring in the stage as well and the crowd. Make sure the crowd image is positioned at the bottom here and then bring in our characters. Add this AI image as well and adjust the settings to make sure you change the white color. Position it here and repeat for this other image. Next, you need to add the titles for both of our characters, making sure their colors correspond. I think the characters will look better sitting on the stage, so I'll select all of these clips and move them to the bottom. You need to add a timer, so add this 10-minute one and use the chroma key to remove the black background. Now play around with the adjustment settings till the timer has the color that you want. The timer should only show for the duration of the character's speech, so I'll trim it like this, leaving only the duration we want and scale it down. Position it at the top here and add this text. Don't forget to repeat this for the parts where the second character is also speaking. Now it's time to add captions, so go to Text, Auto Captions, and hit Generate. You don't need this part, so delete that, leaving only the part for the debate. With the captions selected, look through the available templates till you find one that you want. You can also go to Animations, Captions, and choose one of the available animations. For this demonstration, I'm simply going to move the captions to the center of the stage, change the color to match the color of the first character, and also choose your preferred font. For parts where the second character is speaking, change the color to that of the characters. There's one important thing you need to do. For the part where the narrator warns not to skip ahead, select all of these files and paste them here. Then right-click and create a compound clip. Move the clip to where you want the effect to show and increase the speed. Don't forget to add the image of the hand holding the TV remote. The final step is to add sound effects. You can download these from Pixabay and then add them to the appropriate part of your video. I'm simply going to add a few of these sound effects. Feel free to trim any longer ones and even decrease the volume if necessary. Once that's done, you can export your video at 1080p, 2 or 4K resolution. Now, if you like this niche, then check out this other one that's blowing up right now.